Evolution helps us explain the world around us. Life is tough, and there's competition within and between species. Different selection pressures improve the fitness of individuals with certain characteristics. And if these characteristics can be passed on, then these characteristics can spread through a population through time. One of the greatest struggles in the natural world is between plants and animals. Nearly all plants get their energy from the sun, and more animals than not, theirs from plants. If either cannot get energy, then the outcome is dire. They will fail to reproduce, and their fitness will be zero. Their genes will be lost from the population. Though the stakes are similar for plants and animals, the solutions to these vary greatly. Animals are mobile and can move on if they can't find anything to eat. They can choose the tastiest plant that they want. Whereas plants, on the other hand, cannot react so fast, and they must be ready for an attack before it happens. To do this, plants have evolved an array of defenses against attack. Spines that cover their stems and leaves, dissuading a predator from the outset. Visible bitter toxins, poisoning those that would keep eating. Fine woolly hairs that put a stop to the onslaught of attack from tiny herbivorous insects. Or even through trickery, plants avoid being eaten. Succulent young leaves can be coloured bronze, looking just like a dead leaf, not appetizing at all. All these strategies to save energy cost energy to implement. Thorns and toxins are costly business. A plant has to balance this cost-benefit ratio carefully. A lot of this balancing act is set genetically and won't change, like the thorns in a rose. Others are strongly set by environmental conditions. The plant bougainvillea will turn developing flower buds into wicked thorns if it's pruned or browsed upon. And even sometimes plants can use a mixture of inheritance and environment to determine its investment into defense strategies. Some stressful events in a plant's life can turn on or off sections of its genome. These changes can be passed on. This area of research is called epigenetics. It is even possible that historical grazing patterns may affect future expression of plant defenses. All across the world, natural and semi-natural expanses of land are being grazed heavily by domestic livestock. Often these systems have been overgrazed and degraded. This increased pressure makes the defences in plants greater. But the question is, are these changes persistent after patterns of grazing change? Will they remain just as high when they are reduced? If heightened defences against herbivory are passed on in plants, this has important implications on agriculture. Plants with more defences are less nutritious to livestock, and this limits the number of animals a farmer can run on the same property. But we can't be sure until we test this. Grazing is worst nearest to waterholes, where plants must spend part of their day. To measure grazing intensity, I will look at spine size in copper burrs at different distances from the dams. I will see if they're larger under high grazing pressure. I will then grow these same plants from seed and see if defences against herbivory are the same if they're conserved. This is without the pressure of herbivory. If they are conserved, the implication is that current practices may affect future outcomes, regardless of whether grazing pressure is reduced. Overgrazing may lead to reduced yields in the future, but to manage this, we must first quantify the answer to this question. And that is what this study seeks to do.